Hi everyone, this is Julie Bruns. Welcome to the Peace and Possibilities podcast. I want you to thrive and be happy, peaceful, and content, no matter where you are on your journey. This podcast shares stories that will show you how it can be done, no matter what your circumstances. You'll be inspired and come away with a new spark of an idea. Never forget, anything is possible. New episodes are released every Wednesday. Subscribe, rate us, and leave us a review. This helps others find our content and get happier sooner. To possibility and beyond. So welcome everyone to this episode of the Peace and Possibilities podcast. I'm here with my guest, Shellie Thompson. And Shellie and I met very briefly at an event a couple weeks ago. We were supporting a mutual friend in her business. And I didn't know Shellie. I hadn't known her name. I just saw her come into the room and someone said, "Oh, this is Shellie, my stylist." Or someone had introduced you and I'm like, "Hi," that was it. And then as we were walking around at the event, I saw you again and I just loved your energy and you seemed happy and you seemed positive. And I didn't know exactly what you did, but I could tell that whatever it was, you loved it. And that's what my podcast is all about, loving what you do and teaching others how to, get that same thing in their lives. So that's why you're here today. So welcome,
Yes,
Shellie.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So I'm excited to talk to you because I don't know a ton about your background. I know you've done some cool things, but I'm excited because whatever you're teaching our audience, you'll be sharing with me for the first time too. So I'm excited to get to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's dive in. First of all, you must love what you do, which is why you're here on the podcast. So I'm usually not wrong when I meet people about them liking their jobs. And I wanted to find out a little bit more about how you became a stylist, how you sought this career out, if it's something that just kind of happened to you, or if you always wanted to be in fashion and you just made it happen in your life. So let's start there.
It's so crazy because, Julie, I am the youngest of 5 girls. And to be honest, I went to college to be a physical therapist. And I had surgery in high school. I was a gymnast. And I had surgery and, of course, encountered physical therapy. And so I really kind of dug what the physical therapist, she obviously was wonderful in her career. She loved what she did. I could tell by the way she attended to me. And so that put me on a path. But then, at college, things change. You know how that is. One year you're Spanish, one year you're a doctor. So I think sitting at home in the summers, watching Elsa clinch on CNN on Saturday mornings sparked something new in me. And fashion, being the youngest of 5 girls, also watching my sisters get dressed and my mother get dressed and my grandmother was such a lady. And so I've always had a passion for wearable art. And I think that's where it all started. Do you know what I mean? I can't hear you.
I muted myself. I remember you telling me that briefly about you're one of 5 girls. I'm one of 8 girls, so I have a bunch of sisters too. And I do remember, it's funny that you say that, I didn't remember it till you said it, watching at them getting dressed and wanting to look like them and see how they're doing their hair and stuff like that. So it's funny, it's definitely a sister thing that you were intrigued by that and then you wanted to know more about it and just kind of follow that path. That's cool.
Right. Yeah, it just became a thing. And I started working in retail, oh my God, 1986, 87, at a little boutique in Muncie, Indiana, go figure. Okay. And it just escalated from there,
what did you end up getting your degree in, or did you get a degree when you started school?
No, I didn't. I did not finish. And I'm not knocking anybody that does not finish.
Yeah.
I landed great jobs and I had a kid. So I ended up being a mother and providing for my family.
Okay. So when you got to, so you started with physical therapy and then you realizing, okay, this fashion thing is really inspiring me and I'm just drawn to that. You're like, so did you say to yourself, this is how I want to this is what I want to build my career on? Or was it kind of like, I'll just do this for a while and see if I love it as much as I thought I loved it? You know what I mean?
Well, and it's so funny because you're right. I did it for a while and then I was like, this is my path.
Okay.
I love clothes. I love helping people get dressed, making decisions on luxury clothing, just everything, the whole gamut, jewelry. I loved it all. So I just fell in love and it became who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And you can tell the way you're speaking about it too, that it's not just you're not just saying the words. You're like, when you think about it, you're like, I love it. Like,
No, you don't understand. Like I could talking about it, and I probably before this is over will shed a tear. It has been so wonderful. Just it's my life.
that's awesome. Well, and that's why I'm doing this, because people, I shouldn't say people, like I know I was one of them where I just thought I really wanted to love what I did, but I thought I'm going to have to work. I want it to be important and something I love because I'm going to have to do it forever. I just thought, I'm always going to have to be earning money. I might as well love it. But people around me would say, teachers, mentors, older people in the corporate world, like, well, it's going to be hard and it's a lot of work and, it is work for a reason. And they call it that, it's not going to be all great. And you loving it is a little bit high of an expectation. And I'm like, no, I disagree. I think if we had more people that did that, we'd have a better world in lots of ways.
Well, and I had my hard knocks. I'm not going to tell you that every single day of my retail career has been so fantastic. I've had bad days, but the good really do outweigh the bad.
And I think that's the big lesson. It's like if you're loving it more than you're not loving it, obviously 80% is better than 50-50 or 60-40. But if you're loving it most of the time, of course, there's going to be hard days and there's going to be days you don't feel like doing everything you're doing. But at the end of the day, or you get up and you're excited about it, even though you're not going to be sure, if something bad's coming your way or something's not going to work out like you think.
Mm-hmm.
At least you have in the back of your head, I love this work I'm doing, and I know not every day is going to be perfect. That's
right.
a realistic
Right. Yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so you have this career, you're a mother now, and you're building your life and you're supporting your family. What do you think made you successful early on, getting to where you got in your career? What made you successful, and what kept you peaceful and content doing all that work? Because like you said, there are hard days.
I have to attribute my bosses. I worked for limited brands first, let me go back.
Yeah.
I left a really bad relationship, excuse me, and moved to Shaker Heights, Ohio.
I've been there.
Love, and decided that's where I'm going to plant my feet, raise my kid, and that was going to be what I did. And I had a boss. I'm going to say her name because to this day I still give her credit. Tammy Meredith. She was the district manager at the time. Very stern, very high standards. And I was just a salesperson back in Muncie. I wasn't in management, but she quickly put me on a path to managing her stores. And to get up and go to work for somebody that sees you. Do you know what I'm saying? See, now you're going to make me cry.
No, yes, I get it.
She saw me. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
And I'm going to pull it together. I did not expect to really cry. Oh my
It's so people don't realize how a manager, a mentor, just one even stranger, just the way they see you or talk to you, just one word sometimes, or just a feeling you get from them, how impactful it can be. And this person,
yes.
Tammy, probably has no idea that, well, maybe she does know the impact she had on you, but
But I think she saw my gift early on, and she, of course, wanted her stores to succeed. So she helped nurture and hone this gift. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's what a truly great leader does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she appreciated that I was a single parent, trying to make it. And then I raised him. And one day somebody came in from J. Crew looking for our visual person at the Limited. And I'm like, oh, she's not here today. What can I do for you? And it was somebody that I knew. And he's like, I kind of wanted to, talk to her about coming over to J. Crew to do visuals. And I'm like, oh, honey, you're not coming in here stealing my people. The beauty of it is, to this day, I still talk to some people that worked under my leadership that still say I was the best boss they ever had, that I taught them so much. Fast forward, I took a job with J. Crew. I took a job. And I worked in the Beechwood store for 3 years. And my son left for college, and I was kind of sad. And I just decided that I was going to start my life over, and I was going to pack up and move to Chicago. So I transferred here to Chicago to the J. Crew. Enters Mickey Drexler, who is the former CEO of J. Crew, another great boss, great leader. And I had breakfast, lunch with him on one of his visits to Chicago, and he lit a fire under me that I cannot ever, I really can't explain it to people. And from that point, I think, I made a vision board. I wanted to sell my first $1 million, and I just worked and worked and worked. And meeting him, I'm telling you, when I would get up in the morning, I would be singing. I'm like, "Ooh, I'm going to work. I'm gonna sell these clothes." I've met some wonderful people. I've made great relationships, and so I think that's what kept me happy. I would always do a vision board just to get myself in a place so that I can move the needle.
Yeah.
But man, there's nothing like a great boss who sees you, who knows your worth, and wants to see you succeed.
Yes.
Yeah.
They do it for, and see you succeed. And then, like you said, with Tammy, she knew that you successful people were going to make her store more successful. And why not help out someone here to help yourself, to help, everyone's doing it for the right reasons. And it always ends up helping you on your path because you're doing it with the right intentions. What is it? I know you said it's kind of hard to articulate, but when you met the J. Crew leader for lunch or breakfast, when you said he lit a fire under you, was it a feeling you got from him, or was it something he said, or was it just this like clarity where you were like, I want to aspire for more? Can you put your
Mickey had a passion for, he was a former Gap CEO, but he had a passion for retail, and it kind of, in a sense, matched mine.
Okay.
Different level, of course. I'm working and he's working. But just to be able, you never meet CEOs, right? You're lay people that go to work every day in full t-shirts and sweaters, and somebody comes in and it's, hey, how can I help you? That wasn't this. It was, he actually wanted to hear what I had to say. I was the number one personal shopper at J. Crew on Michigan Avenue. So that gave me a little leverage with him, right?
Yeah.
But you don't expect that he would be like, gravitate to me. But oh my God, he would, he would tell people at the lunch, okay, wait a minute, I want to hear from Shelly. Like, who does that?
Mm-hmm.
And so I was able to voice my opinions, my concerns. I don't know if you even know this, and I don't know if you'll take this out of here. It's fine. But in 2008, when Barack Obama was running for president, I don't know if you know, but I dressed Michelle Obama her first night on Jay Leno. And I think, now I moved to Chicago in 07. So in 1 year's time, are you talking about turning the tide? I did. And so I think he knew that, and he didn't make me feel any other way than I was his number one stunner in that store. And so he just took care of me and made sure that I was always invited to lunch when he came to town. If they were scouting stores, he would say, Shelly, what do you think? Where do you think we should put a new store? So those kinds of things don't happen every day in the workforce. It's just not a thing.
Yeah. He saw something in you. And like you said, your passions matched each other. So he saw something in you. He's excited about being in that world, was what he wanted, what he really was thriving and passionate about. And he saw that with you. And so if you had just been someone who's like, okay, like maybe you're good at your job, but you didn't love it. Like, you say you love it now, or that you loved it at the time. He would have felt that, and he wouldn't have gone out of his way.
For sure.
Yeah, he went out of his way because he could tell that you were on the same level as far as your passion went. And the people that are passionate about what they do are always the most successful. It's not an accident, right? Because it's contagious. People know when you're being authentic. Yeah.
Yes.
People see when you really love what you do, and they can feel it when you're talking. No matter what your words say, they can feel it. And he felt that from you, and which is why he was helping you. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's just
awesome.
Yeah. And to this date, I'm still in touch with him. He emails me, I email him. It's still a thing, and I really appreciate that. So I will always give him and Tammy Meredith their due. I just always will.
Yeah. And that's how you stay in great relationships, and you build great connections and with people, because you're appreciating them for who they are and what they've offered to you and how they helped you. And then it makes you want to do that for other people, because you know what it feels like.
Got it.
Help people. I know I do. I feel the same way. Besides, I'm happy to say I've had way more great bosses than I have had bad ones. I've probably just had a couple in my over 20-year career, which is awesome. Obviously, you learn from both of them, but the really, really good ones, you just learn so many great lessons, and it's very impactful in both instances. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell me what advice you would have. So I know you have a son, a grown son. What would you advise people that are searching, men and women, younger, or even like middle age, searching for a meaningful career, or they want to switch what they're doing, and they were going to be a physical therapist and they want to go into fashion? What would you say to them as they're searching for it and trying to figure it out?
Don't rush the process.
Mm.
I think I could have, I guess, gone on and become a physical therapist, but I didn't rush the process. I took my time. I landed the job that I needed to land in order to put food on the table, raise my son. And in that, I learned that physical therapy really wasn't what I was supposed to do in life. The focus piece of it is, if there is something that you feel is your path, then focus to that, and don't deter. Like, when I think about I had a knee replacement a couple of years ago. Now here's another physical therapist in my life. Great girl. But when I think about the way she had passion about her career, it's the same thing. I just found mine, and it was retail and not in the physical therapy realm.
Right.
But stay your course. Like, I set very realistic goals for myself always. Like, I set that $1 million goal because I knew that I had the skill set to match that $1 million. So I didn't go outside of what I thought I could do, you know. Yeah. And then when it came to the $2 million, I'm like, whoa. But really just the focus piece, and just being still and listening to that voice, sometimes is going to be the best medicine to find where you're supposed to land.
Yeah. Would you say that when you were starting the fashion career and you were doing the physical therapy and you knew it wasn't for you, was it like a moment of clarity, or was it like little by little?
Yeah. Oh God, yes. Okay. Not the first time, not in high school, but when I was on this table with this girl working on me, I think I did physical therapy for 3 years. It took, 2 surgeries before we just decided to do a replacement. And you know what? When I think about it, like even to this day, I think about how she was so intrigued about what I did. Mm-hmm. And so many times I would give her advice about what she was going to wear to something, or, so it kind of, it was an aha moment. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing that, and you're not supposed to be doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
She found her path, and I found mine. But I knew for sure that, no, I didn't want to be stretching people and, hurting people. Yeah. No. Yeah. I want to make people feel good. I want you to get in the mirror and look at yourself and say, damn, I look good. Yeah. I feel
it goes, good. Yeah. I'm so glad there are people like you that want to do it, because it does go so far. It's underrated. Feeling good and looking good is underrated. I mean, when you meet someone that looks really good, you're like, wow, they look good. But you don't realize how much it affects you inside, that with the way you look outside. So
for sure.
I'm grateful for people like you that are really loving it, because it helps everyone else look better and feel better. And then when you're looking and feeling better, you're just more comfortable in your skin. You're more comfortable in your work. Like everything you're doing, all your interactions are just better.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a whole outfit planned, to wear. And I was like, oh no, I don't even feel good in that. Let's pull this back in. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to feel good in your clothes. Yeah. Okay. So what's, final question for you. So what do you wish you had learned earlier in your life or in your career? It doesn't necessarily have to be something you regret, but you would wish you had a little bit piece of wisdom earlier. What would it have been?
I really don't dwell in regret. We've all made mistakes and made bad choices, whatever. If you get up in the morning and your heart's beating, you've got an opportunity to change things, right? Mm-hmm. But I think have no fear. Fear will stagnate you and keep you from prospering and living. So I also think, when I think about earlier in my career, I didn't know that I had the magic that I have and the power. Now I'm going to cry again.
Oh, it's such a big lesson. It's such a big lesson for younger people, like how powerful we are and what we can create if we believe it. Yeah.
The saying, if I knew what I knew now, then what yeah. It's sometimes it's overwhelming, because I've been a very powerful person for a very long time. And to know your powers is huge. So I think that's something, I tell my son all the time. He has a 5-year-old, and I'm like, do what I did for you, but do it 10 times better. He's very outspoken, very intelligent, very articulate, and I see it in his kid. So the key is going to be is don't look back, forge ahead.
Yeah.
Because back there are regrets. I'm sorry, I didn't do it. Fear, all of that's back there. Leave it back there.
Yeah.
Stay focused. Chart your path. Set your goals. Don't stop fighting till you get what you set out to get.
I love that. Great last words.
Yeah.
Don't stop fighting till you get what you set out to get.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Perfect way to end it. Love that advice. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
Thank you. So how can people get a hold of you? Are you styling? They want to work with you? What can they do?
So I am at closetwardrobeu.com. I am Instagram, Closet Wardrobe You. And either of those will lead you to a phone number for me where I'm textable, emailable, and all of that. And right now in COVID, it's been very tough. I worked with Kathy. I was so excited. What a day that was, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I still will go into places totally, got my coverings and so on and so forth. So I don't want people to feel like I can't shop with them or come into their homes. I will protect myself and the client.
Awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, how that works in this day and age. But I mean, everything, you can do a lot of stuff like this too, I'm sure.
Sure. But, I'm a touchy-feely kind of person. So if I'm working with your clothes, I need to touch them. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I will put all of that in the show notes too, in case anyone wants to get in touch with you. It's a little bit easier when they see the link. So thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome talking to you.
I mean, this has been wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks for listening. If you love this content, please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts or whichever platform you found us on. You can get all my social media links in the description below. Help us keep the momentum going so that every person can live their lives happily, doing work they love.